Good day so far.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, I put together this little presentation. It was kind of tricky finding photos because it made me realize I don't really take a lot of photos. But yeah, okay, so thank you everyone for coming. And yeah, it's all, everyone's love is greatly appreciated, and hopefully I can reciprocate some of that. Okay, so yeah, my Olympic experience here. Figured I would start it off at the beginning. So I started skating when I was 4 years old, I think on my 4th birthday at the Fernandina Beach skate park. Yeah, it was definitely, it's definitely a really great community. My dad and I went there. I was freshly 4, my dad had never skated before. And the community there really helped us out. Melissa Rye, the partner of the surf shop owner at the time, she was there with her son, helped us out. And then people that I still skate with today were there. And yeah, so that's where I got my start. Been skating there for 15, almost 16 years now. So yeah, started off doing some local competitions there, skating against all the boys. But yeah, so met some of my great friends still to this day there. Yeah, okay, let's see. So after the local competitions, when I was 9 years old, I believe, was I 9 or 10, Dad? 10. When I was 10 years old, we went to Exposure Skate, which is where Chloe and Tallulah and Coco and Cadence and all them just came back from. It's a all-inclusive female skate event. Did that when I was 10 for the first time. We heard about it from one of our friends at the Florida Bull Riders competition, which was in Jacksonville at Kona Skate Park, which is the oldest running skate park in the U.S. And so yeah, I heard about it from there. I heard it was a really good opportunity to meet some people. Turns out it was. So went there, and it was the first year they were doing a street division. Usually they just do a bowl division, which is a kind of like empty swimming pool like ordeal. And I originally wasn't even going to enter the street division because I only wanted to do the bowl, which doesn't really make that much sense because we don't have a bowl at our local skate park here. So I don't really know what my thought process was on that, but ended up doing the street division at the last second. It was 14 and under, I believe, and I ended up getting first place unexpectedly. And after that, just met some people, and then they told us about the Wheels of Fortune event in Seattle. So that was definitely next on my list. Went there. I don't really remember how well I did, but it was just a really good experience to meet some people, new memories, new friends that I still have. One of my friends that I met there, I was just in Australia visiting her just last week. And she just turned pro as well, so it was a super great trip. And then how I got my start on a little bit more of a national level is actually through social medias like YouTube and Instagram, because a large part of skateboarding too is creating videos and content to share and connect on. So it was that, and then somebody by the name of Lisa Whitaker, she sent me a message asking for my email, phone number, and asked if I wanted to be invited to Do Tour, which at the time I didn't know, but was an Olympic qualifier. And so yeah, got in touch with her. She thought I was a lot older than I was, so I was just talking to her directly, and she was like, wait, how old are you? And I was like, 14. And she was like, okay, maybe could you send me like one of your parents' numbers or something? And I was like, okay, Yeah, that'll probably be good. So then got her connected with my dad, and yeah, from there, had to get a passport to do the Olympic qualifier, even though it was just in Long Beach, California. Had to get a passport really quick, so found out with enough hassling, you could get a passport in 3 days. And for $900, it's probably more expensive now, but yeah, so got a passport really quick, because this was like short notice, maybe 2 weeks I had to get everything ready to do this first contest. And then made it there with the passport, and I don't really remember how I did, but it's the photo in the bottom right corner. It's kind of small, I should have probably made that bigger, but yeah, that was my first Olympic qualifier do tour in 2019. I was 14, didn't really know what that entailed or anything, but did well enough to get invited to the X Games that was in the same summer, just 2 months later. And at the X Games, that's what really kind of kicked things off, because it was a really good course. It was a really good course for me. It had 2 hips, which we have at the skate parks. That's one of my favorite things to skate. So I was able to put together a really good run. And I think ended up finishing 5th place there. So my performance there got me noticed by some brands. That's when I started getting shoes from Nike SB, and basically went from having no sponsors to fully being taken care of. So that was that. And then also, with all that, I was able to start online school, because I had kind of been hassling my dad to do it before competing, just because obviously wanted more time to skate. And with school, get out at 3:45. In the winter, it gets dark at around 5. So I was like, okay, not enough time to skate. But so anyway, I was able to start online school that fall. And then yeah, after starting online school, was able to skate more. And then just kept getting invited to all these contests. But obviously it's a little bit tricky, because all these contests, and we're not really getting any financial support, and it's just my dad and I. Money's tight, so had to be very selective with which contests we did go to. But with that, there is a point system for the qualifications towards the Olympics that I'm just now kind of finally starting to understand. So it is a point system, because that's one of the main questions I get is like, how did you get there? How does that work? Which it's kind of tricky how it works, because skateboarding is very opinionated and style based. So it's sort of like, oh, one person's favorite skater could be someone's least favorite skater. I don't know. Kind of just works like that. But so it's a point system, and there are different levels of events. So there's like the World Championships, Olympic Qualifier Series, Pro Tour, 5-star events, and then I think there's a 3-star event too, but I'm not sure I've ever done a 3-star event. But the difference between all of these is that the OQS Olympic Qualifier Series, that's one of the highest point gathering events, and then World Championships is the second, Pro Tour, then 5-star. I kind of put it out of order there, but so it's kind of crazy, because compared the World Championships compared to the Pro Tour, even just that, World Championships worth almost double points of a Pro Tour. So I missed a lot. As for 2020 especially, I missed most events besides basically the last 3. But the last 3 I got lucky were 2 World Championships, and I think just 1 Pro Tour that I did. So, and I did well at the right events and was able to accumulate a lot of points in a short amount of time. I think I got 5th at one of the World Championships, and then maybe like 15th or something at a Pro Tour. So yeah, was able to come really close to Tokyo, but unfortunately didn't make the cut, which was honestly okay, because at the time I still was I didn't even really know I was that close to going, so I don't know if I would have even been that ready. But And then another question I get asked a lot is the difference between the national team and the Olympic team, because I've been on the national team for a few years, but the national team doesn't mean the Olympic team, because the Olympic team isn't chosen until after the last event. So you can be on the national team and not go to the Olympics, or you could not be on the national team and still get chosen for the Olympic team. And then skateboarding obviously is really objective, so sometimes the competition judging is a little, just like subjective, I guess. It's based on use of course, style, consistency, trick selection, execution, all that. But so with that, trying for Tokyo was definitely a difficult task, because I started working at David's Restaurant and Lounge too when I was 15. So it was, and everything was ramping up. I started traveling right after COVID, all of a sudden, kind of came out of nowhere. So balancing that, school, and work was all just so hectic, really hectic on my body. So I started to work out to be able to compete, and because skateboarding's hard. It's more falling than it is landing things. So you have to be able to take falls, and injuries definitely pretty prominent, so a lot of injury prevention stuff. And then the financial struggles, so being strategic of which events were worth missing and which ones were worth going to, also put a little bit more pressure on me, because it's like, okay, if we're at an event, like, I'm not really here for no reason. I have to kind of give it my all. But ended up missing the cup for Tokyo by one place, which was a little hard, but I mean, I didn't let it stop me. Obviously, I was because skating for me too, skateboarding's always been a thing. I didn't start skating to go to the Olympics. I started skating just for the love of it. So, because I love it. And even if the Olympics didn't exist, you couldn't really do anything sport-wise with it, I would still skate just as much. I don't know, it's kind of like it's just like a part of me. So whenever I don't do well, or whenever something doesn't work out, even just the other day I tried to film a trick for 4 hours, just getting beat up and tired, and I was just, sometimes it's kind of nice, because it's like, for me, it's also a way to focus on something and kind of almost calm my nervous system, because I'm sure everyone knows, life is pretty hard. So it's nice to kind of take a break from life and try a trick for 4 hours, even if it doesn't work out sometimes. But so after Tokyo, Paris was on the horizon, and I think I even said to a coworker of mine who was like, "Oh, are you upset that you didn't make it to Tokyo?" I was like, well, I mean, Paris is still there, so I'll probably just actually set more of a goal for Paris. And that's what I did. So restarting the whole process of accumulating points. I did in 2022, I think the period of time was from 2022 up until the summer of 2024. Because the Tokyo Olympics got pushed to 2021 because of COVID. So restarted that process. Didn't really do too well in the 2022 qualifier in Rome, but it wasn't really worth that many points. And then there was a World Championships in January of 2023, but I had hurt my knee late in the year of 2022, so I wasn't able to go to that. So missing that World Championships really set me behind in points. I was at a really low ranking, which is kind of like whatever about it, because I was like, this is going to be really hard to kind of accumulate back from. But I went to Rome again that summer and ended up doing really good. It wasn't a very high scoring point. It was a pro tour. So if it had been a world championship, I would have accumulated double the points. But since it was a pro tour, still put me in a better position, but definitely not in a position good enough to be like, okay, I'm doing good. Like, I have a good chance. It's kind of just like, well, I have to keep doing good. And then after that, I ended up hurting my back and missing the next contest too. So I think that was Switzerland that I missed, but that one was a pro tour, so it wasn't really like that big of a deal. And then after that was a contest in Japan that I ended up, it was my first contest back after hurting my back, and it was a long flight. I ended up doing good I ended up doing good in the first round, but then the next round I didn't really land my runs. But it was still, I think I got 20-something place, but it was the same amount of points as getting like 10th place in the contest before. So whatever, was doing decent, was accumulating some points, but still not really, I didn't really know like if I was going to the Olympics or not. It was still kind of just like, I have to do like really good to be able to go. So then I ended up missing the next contest after that. Same thing, due to like another knee injury. I was filming in New Zealand and kind of hurt it again. And I was like, okay, it's not really worth it. It was in Dubai. I was like, it's not really worth it to go all the way to Dubai just to maybe be able to skate. So, I mean, it would still be worth it to go, but for a contest to kind of roll around, I was like, maybe not. But so then after that, it switched to the Olympic qualifier series, where it was all of a sudden points were worth almost triple. And that was the Shanghai and Budapest qualifiers. And in Shanghai, I did a lot better than I thought I would. I finished 4th place. And that put me in a really good position to go to the Olympics. That kind of carried me there, which was super unexpected. So I didn't really even think it was going to happen until May of this year. And I was like, oh, maybe I have a shot now. And then after that in Budapest, I don't remember what I got, but definitely did good enough to kind of secure a spot. And then, this was in Budapest when I got the confirmation that I was going to the Olympics, when I got my invite ticket and stuff. It was really crazy because this was only a month before the Olympics was happening, so I didn't really know I was going until that month before. And, so it's definitely a crazy feeling, definitely kind of just like, wow, that happened really quick. I had no idea this was gonna happen. And then at the Olympics, it was honestly really insane too, because I had a moment where it was the day of the competition. I was skating, people were coming in, the stands were filling up, just kind of like a really zen, a really flow state moment of like, wow, this is probably the most people that's ever going to be watching me skate at once, like throughout the world. So for some people, maybe that would freak them out. But for me, for some reason, the mood I was in a really good mood. I didn't really get good sleep that night. I think I had slept maybe 2 hours. I was really tired from the sun. There was really hot sun. Everyone was tired. It had been a long week. Everyone was tired, but I mean, we all still made it happen, but it was definitely like a blissful switch whenever I was just kind of skating and I was like, wow, this is the Olympics. Like, this is crazy. I think it was right before the contest. I was kind of like, well, I guess I don't really have anything to lose here. I'm already here. I didn't think I would be here, and I'm just kind of here. So may as well just do what I do. Yeah, and that's kind of what I did. I feel like it's also, I was having a great time. Some other girls weren't really, because for people like Haisa or Funa or Chloe, they're all super young and they have their countries relying on them, pushing them so heavily, and it's all these young girls already, I mean, it's already hard enough just growing up, going through the motions, hormones, all this, that. So, but then to have to be kind of carrying a country on your back and be the main face of this, like being pushed to get a medal. It's hard, and you don't really see a lot of happy emotions in it, even though, everyone loves each other. Everyone's got each other's back. That's the beautiful part about skating. We're all from all these different places. Some people, none of us actually really speak the same language, but it's kind of cool to be able to communicate without words, kind of. It's like you communicate, you don't really need words to communicate. I don't know, it's kind of funny, but yeah, I don't know, just a beautiful, blissful, majestic experience it was, I would say. And then I was gonna add another slide after this, showcasing kind of what came after, but I forgot to do that. So I'll just speak about it best I can. I got back, and within the first few days of coming back, that was the renaming of the skate park after me. I still don't even really know how that happened. I'm still so honored. I can't believe it. It's the skate park I've skated always and still do. One of my favorite skate parks, believe it or not, despite what it lacks, it definitely has everything obviously that I've needed. Because with skating too, a large part of skating is style and just enjoying yourself and being in the moment. And it's like a good skate park, I can teach you tricks, but I can't teach style. So that's kind of how I try and look at it. It's also been kind of cool because it's forced me, I believe the skate park, growing up skating, it's definitely very limited, but it has taught me to work with what I have and to use my imagination and to get creative and to just kind of make it work, which you can also kind of take outside of skating into life. Just kind of working with what you have and, I don't know, just making it work. If there's a will, there's a way. So, yeah, I guess I'll wrap it up and thank everyone again for everything, even just the little things, like, I don't know, just all the love, all the everything. I'm so glad that I'm very grateful to be from a place where there is this strong sense of community, where people with all different views, all different backgrounds, all different ethnicities, cultures, whatever, can all, I don't know, it's just such a crazy thing where we can all come together and still be a part, still be one. So, yeah. Thank you, everybody.
I think we have time for questions.
Yeah, of course.
Do you surf?
Do I surf? I try and surf, but unfortunately, I am not very skilled. And I don't know, the water's definitely not my best friend, but yeah, I try and surf, and it's kind of a goal of mine to get better at surfing because it probably hurts less than concrete.
How about snowboarding?
Snowboarding I actually do because my younger sibling and her dad and my mom all moved to Utah when I was 12. So I've been going out there to visit them for the past seven-ish years snowboarding. So I actually do snowboard.
Oh, what do you do now? Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
what
of course.
What do you do now? Are you in demand everywhere?
Kind of just the same stuff, I guess. More of this, I guess I'm more involved with the community now, but same thing. I still work at David's sometimes. I definitely travel more. A lot more traveling, but yeah, mostly same.
Bo, how close were you to third? You were fourth, right? In the standings? In the medal rankings?
I think I was fifth. Yeah, I was fifth.
Okay. How close to a medal were you?
2 spots.
I don't actually even really know because there was so much going on. I was kind of just trying to focus on that. But
in the point system?
Oh, in the point system. I think I was close. I don't really know. I probably could have done something really crazy, but it was I was so tired, and I was just so like, I can either really risk a lot and try and do something super crazy to maybe get a medal, or I could just kind of exist and do my thing and make an impact. So I don't know. Yeah. Yes.
First of all, it's an honor to have you here.
What's the difference? You mentioned street and pool.
Okay, yeah.
What's the difference?
So on Olympic terms, it's called, there's street and park.
Yeah.
And so street is more features that you would see. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, street is more features you would see like this, like stairs and a rail that you would just see. It actually comes from just skating, like street outside, just what you would see. And then, let me see if I have anything. Park is more, like here. That's actually, yeah, that's at Exposure in Encinitas, California. It's like more like an empty swimming pool with like transitions. And then vert is the U shaped. So yeah, that's all the different. And then do in the back. Hi.
So I noticed a couple things. When I was watching the Olympics, one of the cool things is that your biggest competitors were also your biggest supporters. So it's kind of a theme with the X Games. So you can talk about that. But the other thing I wanted to mention is when you were going through this, I asked my wife to come in. I said, "You got to see this young lady," because I said, she looks so happy. She's having a ball out there. And the commentators were saying it too, that your personality, we tell kids when they're going to play sports, just go out there and have fun. And that's what we mean when they're real small. And then they get older and all of a sudden it becomes more serious. You look like you were having a ball out there.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. I definitely was having fun. Something just sort of switched in my head that day, because that week I hadn't really been skating that good. It was weird because I wasn't really nervous, because everything happened so quick. I didn't even expect to be going until basically a few weeks before. So I was kind of just like, I'm here somehow. I didn't expect this, but now I'm here. I guess kind of going into it without expectations is what really helped, or just trying not to focus on the pressure and just putting more energy into just being grateful for being there and the experience and everything that I would take away from it. But yeah.
Could you describe the Olympic Village and the experience you had there, and whether you were allowed to stay around Paris and see some sights before you came back to the U.S.?
Oh yeah, so the Olympic Village was in Saint-Denis. I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce it, but so it was about a 30-minute train ride north of Paris. It was outside the circle there. But yeah, the village was actually quite nice. You got, obviously it's free accommodation. There were cardboard beds. That is true. But they actually were pretty comfortable too. We got mattress toppers. I didn't mind. Free food. The food was, I mean, it was good. It was good enough. I mean, it wasn't, I would prefer to go out and get food, but it was good, and it was 24 hours. So, but I was, for the most part, taking the train into Paris every day that I got the chance, just because after being in the village for about a day or two, I was kind of just like, okay, I'm done. Like, I want to go explore and see. I mean, it was really nice. It was a good place. And I stayed in France for about a month. I stayed, because there were a lot of other events happening there too. Nike SB was premiering a video that we had been working on for about a year, which is actually not a lot of time to make a full-length skate video at all. They usually take years. So to be able to put out a 45-minute video in just 1 year is pretty insane. So that video was being premiered the day after I competed. And then the day after that, there was also the skateboard brand I ride for was in Paris. And they had done a video too as well. So, and that was premiering. I don't know, it was just a action-packed month. And I ended up going to Marseille for about a week after two. Just took the train down there and left all my stuff at the village and came back. But yeah, we're able to explore a bit.
So we are out of time, but thank you, Poe, for being with us today. We're going to give you a round of applause.
Thank you all so much.